Hi guys, welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 7th of March 2021. Just going to do a quick 5-minute look ahead. Not going to be a long one this time, so just going to get straight into it. So for the week coming, obviously we had some pretty interesting sell-offs late in the week, last week. So Euro, we can see now obviously after the fact, which helps us going into this week, that we had a really nice push here and then a reversal, and then the following week we had a nice sort of sell-off, which was last week, and we're coming back into this consolidation which we broke out of to start with. So we ask ourselves two questions: is this a pullback to continue going higher, or is it coming back into this consolidation to effectively continue going lower? Now if it comes back into this consolidation, there's a lot to get through. Price isn't just going to hit this mess and then just go straight through it, because that would mean there's absolutely no liquidity here at all. Okay, so really think about that. For price to just accelerate and really rip through all of this mess here, that means there's no liquidity at all. Nothing. How likely is that? Yeah, it's extremely unlikely, right, that there's no liquidity here. Now, how can we be absolutely sure that there is liquidity here? Yeah, well, it's very simple. You can see the way price moves around in this area, and then it dips here and it picks up some there, it dips just a little bit here, picks up, dips, just picks up, dips just there on the top side, picks up, and then it starts to explode to the upside. So we know at least here there was a round of pickups just here before it exploded, and it did so pretty quickly and pretty aggressively. Yeah, because there's no liquidity in any of this. Yeah, so it has to find liquidity pretty quickly, and it finds it right at the top here where we know there's going to be another bunch of liquidity, right? So on the way back in, it's very likely that price is going to stall, slow down, and hit a brick wall, right? So with that said, going into this week, and I don't need to drop down to the lower time frames, it's a pretty simple thing. Going into this week, you take a step back and you say, okay, look, I need more information. We've had an aggressive move, which happened, just go over to the daily, last couple of days of last week. Yeah, so we had a pretty decent drop into an area where we expected a little bit of a bounce. It did bounce a little. We get that dip into this pool here, which we get a nice bounce from, and then it just proceeds to bleed and just fall off, go straight through this. Okay, so it clears that out completely. So on the way back up, if price does start to run back up now, yeah, which would be the ideal scenario, before it gets down to this level down here. Now this is going to get a little bit messy, and I apologize about this, but if price does run higher first, which is what I want it to do, no, leave that one. I'm using the wrong one here. It needs to be this one. There we go. Ideally what I want to see, and let's just make it, we'll make it yellow. I want to see price run higher first, okay, and let me come out a bit there because I want to see, yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to see whether or not this candle here ran up into this first. I want to see price run back into this area here first, then drop lower, and I want to see it happen before it hits this level here. If that happens, that would be the perfect scenario. Okay, if it just runs straight into this, then it's going to be very difficult to do anything with Euro USD this week. Okay, the pound USD, not as much of a sell-off. Okay, which bodes well for this currency pair, and shows that the pound is still quite strong. So for us going into this week, we've cleared this out. That can go. I'm going to leave this for future reference. Obviously down here, we can leave this on if price does start to come down here. This clear out just here, it's dipped straight through that, so we don't even need to make a reference to this. I'm just going to add things, guys, just to bring your attention to certain stuff, but I'm not going to explain them just yet. Yeah, these will be added in future videos as I'm going through certain things, and when they come up, it's just going to be easier when I'm dropping down to lower time frames to explain things. But I'll make references to certain things, keep them in mind, and obviously as we go forward, I'll point these things out. And not to sound like a difficult person, but those who are paying attention, and making notes and really, really studying the stuff that we're going through, they're the ones that'll get the most out of this. So we're going to have to drop down to the 4 hour on this. It's got too much of an uptrend. So 4 hour, let's have a look here. Yeah, see tip, drop, this, and get rid of this now. I mean, we can mark all these small areas on the way back up, but it's irrelevant really. We've already encompassed this area with this small area over here. Not this one that I've just noted. These two candles here, that's already encompassed within this one, so I don't need to make a note of this. I'm just going to watch this one. I need to see more information on pound USD. The pound Japanese yen, you can see, and again, I keep reiterating this and I'm going to say it again, this is Japanese yen related, okay? Japanese yen is weak, okay? And this is why we're getting these runs on these Japanese yen related crosses. So bear that in mind, because at some point, if the Japanese yen starts to gain a little bit of strength, we're going to start to see some sell-offs on some of these. Not aggressive ones, but you know, we will start to see some sell-offs. But so far, we've already cleared out this. So it went up there, it tapped into it, and then it's gone straight up and it's negated this. So that bodes well for a continued move higher. This we don't need. I know what that is. That's just a reference to something else. This I'm going to leave on, but I'm going to extend. And again, it's just to have in mind as a reference. It's a subconscious thing, so I'll leave that there. 4 hour. Is there anything for us to do on this? Liquidity. Open imbalance. Yeah, what we need to see really is a dip. Yeah, we can get rid of this. We don't need this. We need to see price dip. Now, and this is very interesting, but this candle right here, what I would like to see, I'm running out of colours to be honest, what I would like to see, and actually, I didn't realise I could do this. Let's make it a little bit thicker. There we go. What I would like to see is I'd like to see price hit this. Yeah. So I'd like to see price dip closer to the 148 handle. I know it's a big way away, but we're not talking about in one motion. It would be nice if price grinds towards this level. If it does, that would be the perfect scenario in terms of confirmation of something specific, and then we can look to whether or not price is going to continue higher to take this out and continue ripping, or go lower and to start to clear out some of this imbalance down here. But this is a very interesting area, so we're going to be keeping an eye on this going forward. Pound Aussie dollar, nice little reversal. Again, I mean, is there anything we can do with this? No. I mean, look at that. Look at this mess. Look at this mess. We have to stay on the weekly on this. And again, we're just going to keep kind of bypassing this. You know, we are mindful of that lower level down here, all of these lows. And I really need to see this taken out convincingly, this low taken out convincingly, and all of this liquidity absorbed. To make it absolutely clear what I'm talking about, I want to do the bottom half just there. I want to see that gone. The closer we get into this absorption here and here, the better. Clears out this, absorbs into this, and then we will break that down on the 4 hour and possibly the hourly to get a feel for whether or not it's taking liquidity on the upside and then dropping fast to reach for liquidity to the downside, okay, which would give us an indication that we're going down here. And if that happens, it's just going to make life so much easier. But again, there's nothing we can do with this. USD, Japanese yen, again, Japanese yen related. I made a reference of this area up here. Price has gone straight through it. Halfway mark, I did say. I can't remember if I made a reference to breaking this down on a lower time frame. If anybody wanted to do the study, we're all going to go down to a lower time frame on this, which we haven't done yet, but we're on the daily now, and you can see what we can do now. On the pound Japanese yen, we can take the open all the way across, okay, to the high, and we will make this a nice red color, make it quite thick. So that's effectively where price, I don't want to say is going, but as close to 99% as I can be, is probably where price is going. So that's on the cards. Because of the acceleration here and then the slowdown here, this Friday's slowdown, okay, as it started to get into this imbalance over here, may be an indication, okay, that we may slow down, get a dip, take out this low, eat into some of this imbalance, get a reversal, and then start to grind higher quite aggressively. If that happens, again, it will give an opportunity to jump into this for that last drive into this area. But I'm on the fence as to whether or not I would actually want to take a trade into that area going up, or whether I would actually want to fade this going down. As far as taking this high out, I don't know. I'm not convinced. There would be a reason to, based on what we're seeing over here in this mess, but it's a 50-50 shot. But as far as this area is concerned, yeah. Now we can take this off just to clean up the chart, and we can leave it as is like that. So USD Japanese yen will be on the list for this week, and we're going to be talking about this a lot more going forward, or at least for this week anyway. USD CAD, ever since that drop down here, I mean, it started to just slow down again, so I'm just going to bypass straight past this one. The Euro Japanese yen, again, it's a funny one. Japanese yen is very weak at the minute. We're seeing that strength coming into the pound currencies, right, versus the Japanese yen. Okay, and in some respects, the Aussie dollar against the Japanese yen. Okay, but with the euro, you can see the weakness in the euro, right, based on what we're seeing with the Euro Japanese yen, right? And when you take a look at the Euro USD with that nice drop, and some of the euro, some of the other euro currencies, you can see that the euro is starting to lose, some of its steam, based on, a lot of its strength recently. Okay, so paired against the Japanese yen and with the weakness in the Japanese yen, any strength we see come back into the euro with continued weakness in the Japanese yen should see this aggressively run straight for this and then stop. Okay, which is effectively what I want to see. Now, this is so annoying why it keeps doing that. Is there something there? Can we do anything with this? The structure of this is actually quite mild, yeah, in terms of doing something with this. It's not erratic, it's not crazy, it's slowed down quite a lot. It's not massive candles anywhere. The ranges are nice, upside and top side. So there may be something there with this. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm going to just leave this on the 4 hour for now. This we don't need, and get rid of this. This line I'm going to leave on. Interesting. Yeah, so there may be a potential opportunity here on the Euro Japanese yen. So this will be on the focus pair for this week as well. So far, in terms of Euro USD for the usual, I mean, Euro USD and the Pound USD, I'm always looking for trades on these pairs. The Euro USD, I'm looking for a run up first before it drops straight into that consolidation where it broke out of in the first place for that initial run. The USD Japanese yen, possible pullback for a run up or a possible fade if it runs up the way I want it to, and then the Euro Japanese yen, I'd like to see it come lower first before it runs higher, but we need to see a little bit of strength come back into the euro and continued weakness in the Japanese yen. The Aussie dollar Japanese yen, again, it's already tagged this level here. Will it run for this? I mean, it's a good distance. Unlikely that it's going to go straight for that, but the Aussie dollar Japanese yen is quite a slow runner. When it goes, it just grinds and grinds and grinds, and we have to be aware of that. So this is not something that I'm just going to haphazardly jump into. You see this drop here, and then it kind of grinds up, and then it gets a little bit messy. So, in an ideal world, I mean, it does something insane. Like it drops, it takes out all of this, and then it reverses, leaving a huge tail behind. I mean, that would be fantastic. Is it going to happen? It's extremely unlikely. Okay, so it's just a question of having absolute confidence in your analysis. So let's say, for example, I absolutely have a firm belief that this is going, back above these highs, for example. Then it's just a question of finding an entry, that fits nicely with my risk model. Yeah, as an example. Now I don't have that confidence when I look at these high time frame charts. It's just kind of, yeah, I think it's going up there type of thing. Yeah, so I can't really do anything with this. Yeah, but I will keep an eye on it basically because it's a Japanese yen cross. All right, and based on everything that we're doing this week, it seems to be pushing towards the Japanese yen crosses, you know, and continued weakness in the Japanese yen, with a little bit of strength coming back into the euro, which is what we want to see. If that happens, fantastic. It's going to give us an opportunity to do something either with the euro Japanese yen or the USD Japanese yen. If not, then we can jump over to the euro USD, you know, maybe take the weakness if it continues and take a fade, sorry, not a fade, but take a continued trade back into this area down here if we get the initial run. All right, guys. With gold, 1650, which is where I want to see it. This would be perfect. I mean, at first I did say 1680. We did come quite close here. I think the lowest it came was around about sort of 16. Let's get the crosshair up. The lowest it came was around about 1685-ish, 1686 with spread. So 1680, I believe, is on the cards, with a possible run to 1650. If that happens, fantastic. You know, just makes it so much better, you know, to pick up the physical gold. And then obviously silver, this is great as well. You know, we're starting to see a little bit of movement on silver as well, which is good because I do buy 1 ounce Britannias, you know, which are, you know, perfect. You do have to pay a little bit of VAT. I say a little bit, but you do have to pay VAT on silver. But, you know, nonetheless, it's the cheap man's gold, you know, and it's a bit more affordable for people, you know, who don't have a lot of money or don't have a lot of cash reserves. You know, so picking up a silver Britannia every week, you know, is not going to break the bank, and they're just 1 ounce coins. So again, it's not investment advice, guys. I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm just telling you what I do, and I don't think it's a bad thing having, you know, a 1 ounce silver coin being delivered to, you know, your house every week. It's just, you know, it's good. So obviously the lower this goes, the better. And I do think obviously longer term it's going to be at 35 at some point. So with all of that said, guys, I hope everyone's having an awesome weekend as always. In the next couple of days, I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. I'm not a huge fan of trading cryptocurrencies, and you're not going to see me trading cryptocurrencies, but somebody sent me an email and asked me why I don't talk about cryptocurrencies. I do something with cryptocurrencies, but it's not what you think. Okay, so I'll have a little bit of a discussion about that, because I think it's important. It is part of society. It is part of, you know, the financial system, and I'll just give you my thoughts on what I think about, you know, the crypto world, so to speak. And you know, I don't know. You never know. Maybe we can all learn something. You know, there's definitely something there. But as Elon Musk said, you know, and I absolutely agree with the guy. You know, I wouldn't put all your life savings into cryptos, but it's not a bad idea, you know, to invest something, you know, at least something into cryptocurrencies. But like I said, you know, I do something specific with cryptos, so I'll let you guys know in the next couple of days. So I'll leave it at that, guys. Have an awesome rest of your weekend, and if you're late to the party with this video, have an awesome, you know, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this video, and I will catch up with you guys this week in the upcoming episodes. Take care.